I acknowledge your pain.
That's also a words of affirmation thing.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, we are just hashing things out live and in person for everyone. My name is KJ, and you're listening to the Supernatural Opinions podcast, where some things in this world are supernatural. My pronouns are she, they, and this is the podcast where I talk to my fellow Supernatural fans about Supernatural, and we share our Supernatural opinions. This week, we're going to be talking about love languages in Supernatural. A reminder that discussion episodes are open to all seasons and episodes, and that this may and definitely will contain spoilers from episodes including and beyond Season 1, Episode 12, Faith, which is what we were covering last week. Today, I'm being joined by my guest Meredith.
Hello, my pronouns are she and her, and I'm still here.
And Julia.
Hello, my pronouns are also she, her, and I'm also here.
Yay!
And even though we're recording out of order, this is actually Julia's second week in a row back. We don't know what you were like last week because we haven't talked about it yet. We haven't had it yet, but
I'm sure you were great.
Yeah.
Yes, I was fantastic.
A stunning performance.
And I'm so excited about this week's topic because it genuinely came from TikTok interactions. So if you're liking this podcast and you don't follow me on TikTok, my username is LifeMessesOfKJ, all one word, all lowercase. And I talk about Supernatural there literally every day.
Yes.
I post every day.
This is the first time where doing research for me has been watching TikToks. It's a bit of a weird feeling. It's alright though.
This week's topic was inspired by a video that I made in like late June, early July of 2021. And the comment section got interesting and it inspired Julie and I to make a series of videos on it.
Yes. We were just going back and forth like, we're cracking this wide open, holy crap.
We've done that a couple of times, but this was like the original time that it happened.
OG time. This is the one that started it all.
And today we're gonna maybe pull all of those threads together.
Yes, hopefully.
So the basis of this episode is love languages, so I wanted to start off by talking a bit about what that was. So generally there's 5. The origins of this whole conversation on love languages is this book called The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. I believe it was originally published in 1992. And so I'm just going to quickly describe the 5 different love languages, which are ways in which people best give and receive love from their partners. So there's words of affirmation, which is saying supportive things to their partners, acts of service, doing something helpful for your partner, receiving gifts, giving your partner gifts, or receiving gifts from your partner that tell them that you were thinking about them, quality time, spending meaningful time with your partner, and physical touch, being close to it and like caressed and like physically close to your partner. So yeah, so those are the 5. I know which one is not mine. I know which one of these 5 is not me.
As do
So
I.
do I.
I feel like it's the same for all of us.
Physical touch. Are we all gene-coded?
Didn't think I was gene-coded, but then I took several quizzes and all of them said I was gene-coded.
Right, I think that's how it goes for all of us, because I was expecting to get, like, Sam. Like, for the solid, like, first 3 seasons, I was so convinced I was Sam-coded, and so I kept taking the quizzes expecting to get Sam, and every time I was like, you're Dean Winchester. I'm like, that guy's a jerk.
Dean's not even my favorite, but like I don't like talking about feelings and I don't like being touched, so
Oh, absolutely. I'm the exact same way.
Anyway, I wanted to talk a bit more about how I feel about all of these different love languages. Because, like I said, physical touch, not for me.
Me neither.
I don't like gift giving. I like the feeling that I get from giving people's gifts, but I feel so much stress and anxiety about it, and I feel like I'm not good at it, so I wouldn't prefer that.
I like making things for people.
That's not you have creative talent.
Oh, thanks.
Unless people want podcasts for Christmas, I can't.
I would like a podcast for Christmas.
You're welcome. I give you that every week.
There we go. You've already given me my Christmas present.
again, physical touch is nice in moderation, but it's not how I would say I would prefer to give or receive love.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
I'm not good at acts of service. Executive function barely allows me to take care of my own basic needs to keep myself alive, let alone do anything extra for anyone else.
Yeah, for me, that's one of them, but it's not like my main one. But like, I don't know. Like, the weird thing about this one is like, I don't even know that I do it. Like, I don't realize I'm doing it until someone looks back and they're just like, oh, like, thanks for this thing. And I'm just like, what? And they're just like, you didn't have to do that. And I'm like, oh.
I get stressed out when people do things for me. It's taken me years to tell myself, like, it's okay when people do things for you.
Yeah.
That is not how Meredith is receiving love.
No, and I'm the same way, like, with gifts especially. I hate getting gifts because as much as it is a touching thing, it's never a good experience on my end.
Aww.
Because I'm always stressing out. Like, I don't know. It stresses me out more than anything because I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like whatever I gave for them isn't gonna be like of equivalent value.
Right. Yeah, especially like in situations where you're not supposed to be getting a gift. I'm just like, why? Like, don't do this, please. Like, I love you and thank you for thinking of me, but please don't do this to me because now for the next 3 days I'm gonna be feeling guilty every time I look at it.
When I do see something that I think someone else would like, and I have that, I could just get this for them because I'm like, okay, no, get it for them, but keep it until a birthday or Christmas or some occasion where you're supposed to have a gift, because like then A, you don't have to worry about it, and B, like you're not just being giving them a gift out of the blue and like putting them into this like
right. And plus, like, other people can see that like as a thing of manipulation, and I don't want people to think I'm ever manipulating them because I feel like that would be very sad. My relationship with gift giving is very weird. Like on many different levels, it makes me very uncomfortable.
Well, if you've moved around a lot too, like then like moving's such a pain, and like the less stuff you have, the better.
Don't worry,
oh my gosh, that's so true. I didn't even think about that. I literally moved around like my entire childhood because military.
Yeah, my feelings on like how much stuff I have has changed so much since I started going to school, because like I started going to university in 2017. I've moved like 4 or 5 times since then. Just, moving into the dorms, moving back home, moving into the dorms again, moving back home, moving into my apartment, moving into a different apartment. Like
I'm so weird because you could buy me like the most expensive gift, and if it didn't mean anything to you, like it's not going to mean anything to me. But if you give me something dumb, like
same.
For example, I did a trunk or treat once where I was giving out candy to kids, and this one girl, and I remember her name was Jasmine, she came up to me, she was like 5 or 6, and she gave me this little cutout, and this was like 4 years ago. She gave me this orange like cutout paper with eyes and a squiggly smile drawn on it, and it was a ghost, and I opened it up and it said, "Happy Halloween, thank you, from Jasmine."
Aww.
And I kept that card to this day. I have that card in my room.
Honestly, I'm the same way. Like my sister gave me this like kind of like chapstick, but it had like a little figurine around it shaped like the Cheshire Cat, because she knows I love Alice in Wonderland, and I still have it even though I finished the chapstick.
Right, exactly. So it's like the most, and I feel so dumb for it because it's like someone went through all this trouble to get me this amazing thing that they thought I would enjoy, and I end up never using it or something. But then someone does the most out of sight, out of mind thing, and that's like the one thing I latch onto, and I'm just like, why can't you just appreciate things for what they are?
Oh, totally. Like I had a really hard time. I packed up all my Harry Potter stuff in the wake of J.K. Rowling being so unrepentantly transphobic. A little late, honestly. Anyway, I packed up all my stuff, and I think the hardest part wasn't the stuff itself. It was the fact that most of the stuff was gifts, because I never buy like stuff like that for myself.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And like I'm like, well, this person got me this t-shirt, and that's why I like it so much. But I'm like, okay, no, it still feels icky when I wear this shirt because of what it says on the shirt. Yeah. I'm like, that person will buy you another shirt and you'll love it just as much, like with a new interest.
And that's another thing, is sometimes I hoard like a lot of things I never use because I feel bad because someone got it for me as a gift, and I'm like, it would be an insult to not, like, for this to not be important to me. So I'm gonna lug it around with me everywhere, even though it means absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah.
I, of course, have met new friends here because college.
Yeah.
One of my friends that I've recently met, one one of her love languages is physical touch. And she learned that my love language is definitely not physical touch.
It's like, please, I love you, but don't touch me.
Right. And so then she was showing me one of her movies that's like one of her favorite movies. It's called Lady Bird. She was showing me this movie, and it got to this part where the mom in that movie was saying like really mean things, and it was just kind of being manipulative. And I got a little bit upset at it, and I was just like, oh, like that's so wrong. Like, don't treat her that way. And like, I was just like really upset. And then it was so funny because Lydia, my friend, she went to like go like pat me, but she decided to pat my chair instead of patting me. And I felt
nice.
like, I was
so
like,
sweet.
that is the most touching thing, because I almost didn't notice it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, that's so touching. Like,
It's like
because
the middle ground. That is so
right,
cute.
exactly. So I'm like, thank you, Lydia. Like, I appreciate that.
I'm a big fan of Lydia.
Yes, she's amazing. Love Lydia.
Good job, Lydia. Respecting boundaries.
Absolutely.
My love language is definitely a combination of quality time and words of affirmation.
I'm pretty sure that's me too. So it's probably how we're friends for this long.
So mine is quality time and acts of service. Very interesting. But quality
You can
time
do
is the
stuff
bigger
for
one.
me.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, like, I don't even know when I do it. So it's just like, it's not even like thinking like, oh, I'm gonna do this thing for this someone so that they know that they're special to me. It's legit, like, it's just how I go through life. And they're just like, oh, thanks for this thing. And I'm like, oh, right.
Yeah, I think Julia and I talked about this in the comment section of, I think it was Julia's videos about love languages, where like, we just want to sit in the same room as you.
Yes, exactly. We don't even have to do anything like productive or important or anything.
Or the same thing, or be interacting really at all. Like, if you are
Exactly.
sitting, like, if we're both sitting on the couch and you're reading a book and I'm on my phone, or I'm editing the podcast
Right.
and you're reading a book or watching TV or whatever, as long as we're both there
Exactly.
and we're both just like,
Occupying the same space. Yeah.
like, I'm good. We don't even have to talk.
Exactly. That is my number one love language. And
Yeah,
so
me
I'm
too.
always constantly trying to be with people all the time. And my sister is very introverted, so her social battery runs out a lot quicker than mine does. So, but I think hers is the same. I think quality time is one of hers.
Yeah, like that's a good way for you to have like a quality time and be an introvert. Because I'm an introvert as well.
Exactly. And so like we'll just literally be like in the same room, and like if her social battery runs out, like we just won't talk. We'll still be in the same room, and like that's enough for both of us.
Words of affirmation. I like to hear that I'm not annoying people, because even though like I'm an
Same.
introvert, I can talk.
Yeah.
If my two podcasts weren't to hate that I could talk about things that I care about, which means that if you are talking to me, that means that either you care about what I'm talking about or you care about me because you're talking.
Right.
And also, like, if you tell me that you are enjoying that we're talking, like, that's good. All of that is good for me.
Yeah, actually, I have some thoughts about words of affirmation for me.
Uh-oh.
As I mentioned, I'm neuroatypical and I have trouble reading social cues. So
Yeah, that too.
yeah, like words of affirmation is very important for me because if you just say
Direct
something
communication.
directly, it's much easier for me to get the message.
I think that could also be for part of it for me as well. That would explain it.
There we go.
I want to pivot a little bit from us to the show.
Yes. We are fascinating, but
I think all of that was good, but we are weirdly not why everyone's here. I mean, we actually might be why everyone's here. But
I'm why everyone's here.
Julia, I feel like you might be able to phrase this in a way that will spark my brain, because I tried to phrase it in my notes, couldn't remember. But you said something a few weeks ago about how like your love language like stems from like stuff that you like didn't have when you were a kid.
Yeah, so I heard there was some like post on the internet or something saying that your two love languages are the things that you didn't get when you were a kid. So
that is really sad.
I know, and so thinking about that, I was like, that is so depressing. What the heck? Like, wow. Like, that is the worst thing that could possibly, like, it's not even like, oh, this is your, like, cutesy thing for someone. It's, this is what you were lacking as a child.
And I know that you said that in a live, and I wish you hadn't said it in a live, because then I would have commented on it in a video and not in a live, and I would have been able to find the comment again.
Yeah.
But I know I commented something about how with John, like the two things that the boys want the most are the things that he does not give them, does not provide to them. Like he literally does the opposite. Like Sam feels like he's always like on the outside. He wants to be included. He doesn't really feel like he fits with hunters, but at least he would feel like he fit it. Like at least
Quality
if they included him.
It's waving through.
Yes.
he would like fit in, and John always leaves him at home, leaves him behind.
Exactly. So maybe like that quality time element a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like that's like where Dean and Sam, they're on the same level. That's where they can vibe and kind of just coexist is quality time. And so I feel like they both were missing that from John, but Sam more so because Dean and John would go off on hunts and just leave him. Sam. Like, just leave him there.
From situations that Dean would have been involved with when he was the same age as Sam. Like,
And even when John would go off without both of them, Sam was still left like all those times. So he probably got the least amount of quality time with John.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's why he was able to see through his BS quicker.
I think it was, honestly.
Because he wasn't spending so much time getting manipulated by him that he was able to take a step back and be like, that is a toxic situation.
And then Dean wants like affection and love, and John raises him basically without that.
Right, and acts of service I think is another big thing for Dean, and like John.
And I think it comes from that as well, yeah.
I don't think he ever did anything for Dean.
Oh, definitely never. He put it on Dean to give those things to Sam.
Exactly, and you see that all the time. John was unable to give